Okay, now that I've fixed the autofocus, this is a learning experience for all involved, especially me, who recorded a video, then put his camera down for a couple of weeks. Look, I was busy, okay? Shit's happening. Moving house in a few days and hoping I can get this done so I can edit while I'm doing other stuff, because I am an adult and I can multitask. Anyway, so this will be a hopefully quick review of Prey. I was actually waiting for this to come out in cinemas, and I didn't think I'd see it on my Disney Plus homepage on a random day. Just there it is, and I clicked on it because I was weirdly wondering if it was I'd click on it and then I'd do the Amazon thing of okay, cool, pay $30. No, it was there, the whole thing. Is there supposed to be a theatrical release? After seeing it, I can see why there wouldn't be a theatrical release, which is not saying it's not good. Weirdly enough, it's the opposite. It is really good. It's weirdly good. This is the second time that I'm seeing it. I mean, not really a sequel, more of a prequel to a movie that and it's happening decades after the original. I mean, the difference between this and Top Gun Maverick is Top Gun Maverick didn't actually have anything else between 1986 and now, whereas Predator has had multiple movies and crossovers and comics and stuff, of which I've seen the first Predator. I think I saw it again during lockdown last year because I had a ton of time to watch a lot of movies, and it still holds up. It weirdly held up really well. I was surprised by. I watched that and The Rock.
Best. Losers always whine about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
The Nicolas Cage, Michael Bay movie, and it held up as well. This weird thing where it's ingrained in me to just assume all of the classic older action movies didn't age as well with time, but surprisingly some are. Anyway, that's tangent number one. Back to a few days ago when I suddenly saw Prey on my home screen, then I thought, hey, I need to watch this. I need to see this. I didn't feel a need to see Predator 2. I remember when I originally saw Predator 1 again, years ago, when I was finally old enough to freaking understand the movie and not be weirdly scared of it. And I saw a thing that said Predator 2, and I was like, oh, that exists? What is it? And then I saw it was set in a city, and Danny Glover's in it, and that's it. And it seemed to be great as shit, and I never felt the need. And since I never saw any of the Alien movies, I just never wanted to see AVP. So here I am, skipping over a bunch of sequels and prequels and comics to get to Prey 2022. All I knew about this movie was it was indigenous cast and Predator, and that's pretty much it. That's the tagline. The tagline is basically, the same way that Assassin's Creed is just assassins, but in this era, this is the Predator, but in 1719, killing Comanches and French and snakes and bears. I'm gonna start this off with a bit of a qualm I have with this movie and movies in general. God, why would I start a review of a movie I really liked with a problem? But here's the problem, because this is a problem in all movies. In an action scene, if something happens that basically proves to us how strong a character or creature or entity is, please follow the rules. Because I saw this thing just punch a bear in the face and break its neck. So by that logic, humans are smaller than bears, which means, just logically, if I could punch a bear in the face and basically kill it, if I punched a human in the face, they would not live, to put it lightly. I would have thought when he just chokeslammed this girl into the ground that she would just not be alive. The movie would just end. It wouldn't end the way the original Predator happened, where, eventually, the protagonist learns the rules and how to fight back, and they finally best the creature. I thought it was over. I thought he just got that girl, then chokeslammed her, and was like, what do you think was gonna happen? I punched a bear in the face and lifted it up oh my god. Anyway, stop. This all started with Marvel, because every single Marvel action scene somehow sets up a character's power, but then but then breaks a billion other rules from past things. But this is like a lesser thing. I can deal with this. This is fine. It's fine. Anyway, so Prey follows Naru. She is a Comanche lady who wants to be a hunter. But of course, 1719, apparently sexism was alive and thriving because everyone tells her, hey, you can hunt, you're good at medicine gathering, you shouldn't be trying to hunt stuff, your brother is a really, really amazing warrior, you should just, stick to medicine, stick to girl stuff, which is, of course, stupid and a really good foundation for, basically letting us know that this movie is going to be about this girl just basically proving every motherfucker wrong on multiple occasions. It is great. She has this tussle with these guys who try to bring her home because she ran away to try and, search to seek out this mysterious thing that's been, stalking the wildlands. And this guy tries to grab her and drag her home, and she just beats the shit out of him. She has a counter for every one of his moves, and basically the only way that the guy wins the fight is by cheap shot. Another guy comes in and then just interferes with the fight, and then they sucker punch her, and then that shit happens. So basically, yeah, she wants to be a hunter, and there is this ritual, the name I have just forgotten, and I'm on camera now, it's too late to Google. There's a ritual where you basically have to seek out something to hunt down, kill, and bring back its head. And this bad bitch decides, that weird invisible thing with high tech weaponry that just punched a bear in the face. I want that. That's the one. Everyone else goes for lions and bears.
Pump those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers in this racket.
No, I want the intergalactic hunting machine with dreads. That's my thing. And I mean, if you're gonna show everyone that you're top shit, intergalactic hunting machines are pretty good start. And I do like how this movie it takes itself seriously, but not too seriously. Basically, I think the strength of Prey is that the premise is so simple, you can't fuck it up. There's no way to fuck it up. This is one of those movies where I'm not sure how it would go for someone who's never seen a Predator movie before, or even to take that further, someone who knows nothing about the Predator. At least for people who know about the Predator, you know the rules. You basically know kind of what beats it's going to take, but it's always interesting seeing how they're going to approach it, because this time it's not big buff military men in the jungle.
Bleeds. We can kill it.
It is indigenous warriors, which is a whole different thing. We're not dealing with guns and all that shit. We're dealing with spears. We're dealing with axes. We're dealing with a lot of, different stuff. So it was a really cool experience to see how they basically integrated the Predator into a different hunting ground. It's different from the one before, and it's interesting to see how the basic rules have stayed the same. It only hunts things that it perceives as a threat. The same way that one of the girls in the original Predator, it didn't attack it because it didn't have a weapon. He thought, well, you're not a threat to me. There's no thrill in hunting something that can't fight back, so I'll leave it alone. But he went for the big guys with big guns. Same thing here. Basically, there are a bunch of scenes just kind of reinforcing this rule, where there's a rat. A rat walks past a Predator while it's cloaked, and the Predator doesn't do anything. But then a snake comes by, kills the rat, and the Predator's like, well, in this hierarchy, you're obviously the Predator, that's the prey. I will attack the Predator. So it kills and skins the snake. And same thing with the bear. Finds the bear, kills the bear. And I did like how there was a bit of a flip where the Predator was always around Naru, but never really saw her as a threat until I think she attacked the bear, and then it showed up. And then it thought, okay, you seem like you're a threat now. And it kind of keeps reinforcing that basically a lot of this is Naru proving to everyone else, including the Predator, time and time again, I am a threat. I am part of the race. Better yet, the fact that you don't think I'm part of the race makes me even more dangerous, which she does say. There are some times where the dialogue, I think, is a bit on the nose, but that, once again, that's fine. The premise of this movie is so simple. I can deal with and understand the fact that the dialogue is not this Shakespearean masterpiece. It's very base level. It says exactly what it needs to say to kind of get you set up for what's going to happen. And I'm just gonna ramble. I'm just gonna ramble, just because this movie is great. There's a lot of great in this movie. The Predator design has always been fan-fucking-tastic. One of the best designs in one of the best monster designs in cinema. It is big, it is scaly, it has the dread, so it's like weirdly human, but not really, but it's got the claws and the mandibles, but it also has like limitations, because you never really see, it can't see without the visor, because every time it loses its visor, something goes wrong. Like, in this one you find out that when it loses the visor, its targeting system's fucked, it can't aim. I do like the fact that we also scaled back the Predator's arsenal in terms of, it's not the exact same arsenal from the first Predator movie, which would make sense because it's not the same creature anyway. If different hunters are going to Earth at different times, they'll have different weapons. Whereas the other Predator had more of like laser beams and stuff like that. This one has like kind of like a automatic crossbow and this sort of like weapon that kind of, you can throw it and it kind of curls around things and cuts it. I forget if the net that just constricts things until it's mince was in the first movie, but there's a net in this movie that constricts things until it's mince. And I'm glad I saw this. I'm glad I rushed to see it. I'm glad I didn't wait a while to see it, because this is one of those surprises of the year for me. Well, it's a surprise because I never expect a sequel or prequel to a very old property to be this good, but this is something else. The girl who plays Naru kills it. She brings that emotion, she brings that raw energy, she brings that sort of like, you can tell she is desperate to prove herself, she's desperate to show everyone, stop fucking sleeping on me, I will fuck everyone up. They even get her an extended John Wick ass action scene, and it is great. She is fighting like, I think 2 or 3 dudes, and she is fucking them up, but she's not like just landing hits and they're just taking hits. There's a back and forth. There's a problem, she finds a way around it. There's a problem, she finds a way around it. They kind of establish things early on that come back in very satisfying ways, like the way that she ties like a rope to her axe, which makes her axe have more range. You see her at the very beginning throwing her axe. Sometimes she misses, sometimes she hits, and then over time she goes, okay, I can make this better. Puts a rope on it, you can throw the rope, bring it back. God of War style, and it is badass as shit. That's kind of the tagline for this movie. Badass as shit.
Totally and completely badass.
And not even just Nara, the guy who plays her brother, I forget his name. They have a really cool dynamic going on there where he knows he is traditionally the superior warrior, but he also sees something in her that's a bit different, but something that, if nurtured, could be super, super special. And that's what I think he tries to knock into her, but then of course she's a bit stubborn and it doesn't work. But he also has his flaws. He basically takes the glory kill that was meant to be hers. Well, she was knocked out for it, but he does just take the glory kill and doesn't tell her that until later on, way after he's been declared war chief. So even the best warrior in the tribe has his faults. And he's not perfect, but of course people can't see that because, you know, he's traditionally the older brother, he's the warrior, he's the guy who he's the glorious one, he's the one they all celebrate. And as much as she would want to be happy for him, she knows deep down she's better. Like Homelander, she is better.
I'm stronger, I'm smarter, I'm better.
I like the dynamic that they have even as it gets to the end where he does sacrifice himself for her in a scene that I don't think he needed to sacrifice himself for. I don't feel like Naru's brother needed to die in that exact moment. There was probably a different way that was a bit more fitting that he could have died, but like because they were like tag teaming, not necessarily, he was like fucking the Predator up, and then the Predator sees him as this big threat and cloaks itself mid-fight, which shows us all its back is against the wall. It closes itself and disappears, and then that's when he decides, This is it for me. I'm gonna die. Like, you didn't even try to get the fuck away, but okay. Anyway, so that's my ramble. I hope it's a quick one this time because I wasn't planning for this to be long, but fuck, we'll see how we go. Anyway, Prey's dope. Prey is cool. I can just stand here talking about random things and Prey until I drop, but the fact of the matter is, you want a cool action movie? Prey's the one. I sing praise. Haha.